Hey guys, what's going on? Carl here from Slow Strength. Continuing on with our Rugby pre-season series. Today we're going to do conditioning for Rugby Phase 2. So, back in Phase 1, I did a video on that a while ago. Check that one out. It was focused heavily on building our capacities through extensive work and very separated in what we did. Here in Phase 2, we're increasing our intensity and using that capacity, that base, and that foundation that we built back in November and December, and really using that to fuel our higher intensity efforts. Still trying to get as much juice as we can out of our aerobic system. So, to start off with Phase 2, I like to start off with 1 to 2 weeks of top-up work. That looks a lot like the back end of our work back in November, December. Just to get guys back up to speed, back up to that baseline level, because they might not have trained over the Christmas period or took a fair bit of relative rest. It just really helps us, A, get on all on the same page so they can handle the higher intensities and loads, but it also protects against injuries quite a lot. So the main thing here is we increase our intensity, but we decrease our volume. So that might look like, instead of doing a 6-minute run or a 6-minute block or something like that, or a 10-minute block, which is very high in volume and relatively the same intensity that we did back in Phase 1, here we might decrease our volume of our efforts but increase the intensity. So here I like to use a lot of MAS running. Might start off at 100%, but we just build from there to 120%, do our super max work to get a bit more of a adaptation. But the volume might be decreased. So we might do it 15 seconds at 110 MAS for a straight line sprint, and then 10 seconds off. Do a 5-minute block of that, have it split down so we're having micro rests in between, but we can keep our intensity higher there. Whereas before in Phase 1 we might have just done a 5-minute straight running block. Here I really like to start blending a lot of capacities we built back in Phase 1. So we did a lot of combat work or combative, controlling your body weight, that sort of stuff. A bit of wrestle in extensive nature. Here I might combine that with a sprint or a shuttle. So we might do a shuttle, have a wrestle for 10 seconds, rest, shuttle, wrestle for 10 seconds, and just combining. You can get really creative with this as long as we're sticking to a high intensity, high work rate. You can really play around with what you think works. So aerobic power is the main theme of Phase 2, particularly the first 4 to 5 weeks. So we're looking at a 1 to 2 work to rest. So this could be a 90-second effort and then a 3-minute rest. In that rest period, we could be doing a lot of skill work here. So if you'd like doing your skills on fatigue, which is a huge part of the game, we could do a 90-second any kind of effort. It could be a run, it could be some sort of wrestle drill into some sort of passing drill under fatigue, whatever that may be. Then I like to go into our 1-to-1s. So this is where that 10-second on, 10-second off, you can also use this at our 1-to-2s, really gets beneficial in a team setting where time is poor. You can't really be resting for 3 minutes, or even 1-to-1. 2 minutes of rest is still quite a long time if you're doing it between each efforts. So I like to break it down into those sort of 15 on, 15 off for 4 minutes sort of thing. 1-to-1 gets a lot more intense, but yeah, so looking at like a high MAS or high intensity wrestle, high intensity shuffles, whatever that might be. As we go further down the phase, I like to use lactic capacity work. This is where we really start to blend in or sprinkle in some of that worst case scenario work that we heavily focused on in Phase 3. Not as intense, but we're definitely getting there. High intensity, so as hard as you can go. Work for 1 to rest 3 to 4. So say it's a 60-second effort. That's what we want for our capacity efforts, for lactate capacity. This could be just continuous drill. So you can have a sprint to a wrestle or anything like that, a rucking drill, whatever it may be. It just has to be high intensity in nature. So towards the end of our Phase 2, so week 6 onwards, I like to start sprinkling in some lactate capacity, really get the players used to those high intensity loads and the stuff that's really going to start getting them tired in the game. I also start to look at game speeds. So before, in November, December, it's not as much of a concern to me. But this phase, as we're getting closer to the season, we really want to start looking at game speed. So your MAS shuttles could be targets for players, could be to get to 5 metres a second for a game speed, whatever it may be. Really look at the demands of your game. There's plenty of papers out there to look at that. And start prescribing your drills to those game speeds. Game speed work will really start to take more of a front foot or a front seat as we start to move forward into like our week 6 onwards, and especially in the trial period. But to get guys used to these speeds, I like to start to put it in here. You can start using small-sided gains at above gain speed later on, but it's just good to kind of get your head around it and just start implementing it where you can. Hope that helps, guys. If you've got any questions, please shoot away. Always happy to help. If you need help growing your own programs, just reach out. Always happy to help you guys. And if you have any videos that you'd like me to cover, please put them in the comments below or shoot me a message. I'll be happy to make it. Have a good day.